me just say this, whatever franchise you hold dear, whatever classic characters and TV shows and cartoons, movies, what have you, and that you grew up loving and adoring, and you always made time to watch that show, go to the movies, and all that, kiss it goodbye. Think of your beloved franchise. Think of the movies that you would never think would get screwed with, would get turned around due to a movement out there where they want everything done for them. Recently, there was news that Bond 25 will have a female 007. Not James Bond. Stop saying that, you guys out there. It's not a female James Bond. It's a female 007. But definitely she'll be taking the number, the identity, the 00 from James Bond. Some of you that say it like that, you go, female James Bond. They go, well, technically maybe, yeah, because James Bond is the one that is identified with the franchise. So if a female is going to be put in there, people are going to say it's a female James Bond. But I believe the proper word is female 007. And even that shouldn't even be the case. Why are they going to give the 007 to a female? Why are they going to give it to anybody? Really, not just the female, but to anybody. Isn't that solely his property, if you will, his identification? They have other 00s. They had 006 in GoldenEye. They had 009 in Octopussy. There's other 00s out there. But I guess they're just doing basically what they always do. What Hollywoke always does is that they take an existing thing and just give it to a woman. Give it to someone else. Give it to another person of a person of another race, person of another gender, person of another identification. I don't know. It's like I'm really fucking pissed about this. And I don't care if you don't like my language. Like I've said before, don't watch my video. Because this is getting out of hand. Hollyweird, Hollywoke, however everybody wants to name Hollywood now, is out of control. And they're allowing the SJWs, the feminists out there, and all these other groups just to have their say. They can have their say, but it shouldn't be the ultimate, like, if they say this, we have to follow it. No, we don't have to. Who said? The Bond franchise, I've been a fan of since I was a kid. My favorite Bond film is For Your Eyes Only. Favorite Bond is Roger Moore. Now, don't mistake that for saying it's the best. The best is always the first one, and that is Sean Connery. But I say favorite because I grew up on Roger Moore. He was part of my childhood, growing up, right up into my teens. It was Roger Moore. And For Your Eyes Only, I remember seeing it like over 30-something times, 40-something times, because local theater, it was only $1.50. This theater that was local, it was one of the theaters that would play secondhand films. It would always, whenever the film had its initial first release, then it would go to this theater, and I would go see it. Me and my brother. I think my brother beat me by like 40 more views. He would just go every week, every weekend, and they would have those movies running there for like months. So I got a total just connection to it. Reminds me of better times and times when Bond could get away with the stuff he did, because that's what he was. He was suave, debonair, highly trained agent. And then he would get a girl every now and then. You would be able to have all these different women from all over the world. Wherever he traveled, he always had a woman in tow. He always had a woman in his bed. He always had, adventures, with women. And it's like this Me Too movement, this these groups out there that are now affecting James Bond, fuck you. I said it. Fuck you. Do I need to spell it? Fuckyou. How dare you? It's like, how dare you think you could just go in there and just, well, I mean, I don't know why I'm saying that, because they can. But I'm coming from just a curious mind that I have. I'm like, why? Do you not understand that doing this does not empower your group? It just makes you out to look like a bunch of lazy bullies who push your weight around and think that it's okay. Oh, I'm going to go after Star Wars. I'm going to go after Marvel and all these other set franchises, these franchises that have been around forever, decades. And then now you want to go after my beloved Bond franchise. But one thing, even though there were some bad movies, some of them great, some of them were, decent, but the one thing they had is that they had James Bond. The entire theme of Bond, you know what I mean? It's like, y'all want to change that. His way of approaching things, and you guys want to say that he's male chauvinist and a masochist, not a masochist, but a misogynist, and he's bad to women, and we need to change it up. So we're going to put not only a woman, but a black woman, someone who is going to, I guess, continue to move the needle of the agenda, because not only is she female, she's black, and she's going to be presented as a strong woman. And no longer are they going to refer to the Bond girls as that. It's Bond women, because we have to make the women, respected, and we can't call them girls. It's about women, so let's put the woman in there. Is that what it is? Because you need the name out there. We don't already know that you're women. So, forget Bond girls, which is like a brand name when it comes to Bond. It's like something we identify the women in Bond as, not Bond women. It's pretty much that's just like a description of their gender. It's like going, yeah, that's a Bond woman. That sounds so generic. Bond girl has already. If I'm not surprised, I wouldn't be surprised if it has a patent on it. That Bond girls. You know what I mean? And then it's like, what are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? It's like, I'm in my mind. I was at work today, and I'm thinking, what other franchises are you gonna go after? Lethal Weapon? Because God forbid if we're gonna let Mel Gibson back in that role, especially what happened with him and that Russian girl, I guess that's his wife. All the stuff he was saying to her and calling her all these names and all that stuff. Yet you can hear her in the video, in the audio, egging him on, being just as guilty, but they want to pose her as a victim. Because God forbid if you call her someone who's causing the issue, we don't know what's going on behind closed doors. She can be just as much of a as she was. So God forbid we're not going to put him in it. So we're going to make it all women. Murtaugh and Riggs, you know. So I don't know. Renee Russo, when she and Mel Gibson were a couple in Lethal Weapon 3 and then to 4. So I don't know if you ever saw. I think we just saw the child be born. I can't remember what it was, but if it was a girl, guarantee you that's going to be the next focus. That'll be Riggs, and then Murtaugh. I don't know. It'll probably be one of his daughters. He had a daughter that was a little girl at the time. You know. What's next? Matrix. Make Neo a woman. You know. Harry Potter. Yeah, there's men and women there. There's boys and girls there, but guarantee you they'll take a child of Harry and Ginny. And if they had a daughter, so I'm trying to remember the kids that they had at the end of the last film. You're gonna involve the film around the daughter, or maybe even Ron and Hermione, their kids. Draco and his girl, he was married too, I believe, at the end of the last film. Which one are you gonna go after? What's next? You gonna go after Enter the Dragon? You've been talking about rebooting that and remaking that. Which, if that happens, I'll go to the damn studio myself and protest that motherfucking shit. That's bullshit if they do that. Stuff should be left alone. Things need to be left alone. You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know what I mean? Who are they gonna put in Bruce Lee's place in that with film? You know, even if he was alive, they would have the nerve to do that. Are they gonna put the girl that's playing Mulan? Are they gonna put her in there? Is she gonna be the next, Agent Lee? Bruce Lee was some secret agent. He was like some government agent infiltrating Han's lair and the tournament to expose him for the prostitution and drug opium rings that he was running. What's next? You know? I've been watching some videos today. You know, thoughts on some of these guys have, the thoughts that they have in regards to this whole situation. And it's infuriating. Infuriating them, it's infuriating me, everybody. We're all mad, upset about it. You know? Like, you really, really want someone like me to not even go out anymore, go to a movie. You know, if I go to see this film, I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna motherfuck this film the whole time. Catcalling. I'm gonna just make noise. I'm just so annoyed with this. You know, I've never been more upset. You know, Marvel, you know, Star Wars, okay. It's infuriating. You know, it's upsetting what they're doing. But Bond, this is my, you know, where you got people that are stone cold, Star Wars fans and Marvel fans, DC fans, and I enjoy all that. But when it comes to Bond, far back as I could remember, as a child, I remember James Bond. You know, like I said, For Your Eyes Only, first film that I ever went to go to theater to watch. First Bond film. I remember seeing Spy Who Loved Me, the film that came before that, on TV. And then just came out and I was psyched, you know, 11-year-old kid, you know, all about Bond and wanted to go see it. And I've been hooked ever since. I enjoy what every Bond brought to the role, you know. Sean Connery, you had George Lazenby, Roger Moore, Timothy Dalton, Pierce Brosnan, and then Daniel Craig, and Lashana Lynch. Ooh, who is she? Oh, I know she was on, what do you call it? She was in Captain Marvel, and she was on some British show. She's British. Very popular show from what I remember reading, but I don't remember the damn show. Like, what does she have under her belt? You know, what credentials does she have? What blockbuster films and award-winning films does she have to put her in this spot? Don't tell me it's because she's a strong woman and she's black and that fits the bill. Where's the checkoff list? She's black, she's a woman. That's all that takes? You have all these other women in Hollywood that would kill, would love to be the first female 007. Scarlett Johansson, Jessica Chastain, right? And I hate to say it, but Brie Larson and Jennifer Lawrence, I don't like their politics. I don't like how they're going about, being involved with the whole Me Too movement and all that other nonsense, SJWs and feminist stuff. But they're established names, Oscar nominees. Brie Larson, we know, is an Oscar winner. What was the name of their movie? The Room, right? At least they got some notoriety. At least if they're going to be announced as the new Bond, it'll attract people. People will fill the seats. Lashana Lynch, is that going to bring people into the theaters? There's entirely, there's a long list of women in Hollywood that would be perfect, maybe for this role. I don't agree with it, but if they're going to go this route, how about put somebody who, I don't know, would be good for your profit margin, When you have that graph and you're looking at the amount of money you're bringing into the studio, wouldn't you want it to go up? Wouldn't you like that money to come in and filling up the seats and putting butts in seats because a certain individual is in a movie? You honestly think that you're gonna put Lashana Lynch in there, right? And that because, well, she's not a worldwide known name, but it's the brand. It's a Bond name that's gonna get people into theaters, It's like Harrison Ford made the Indiana Jones films enjoyable, exciting. We loved him in these films. He was funny. He was heroic. He was just the guy. If they're going to recast it, they were talking about, I believe, Chris Pratt, when it was still a male thing. I think it was going to be him as a possibility. And then, of course, the rumors are that it's Brie Larson. It's going to be in a female version of Indiana Jones. Y'all thought that Shia LaBeouf was bad as the son in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. This is 10 times, 100 times going to be worse. And then now her girl, right, Lashana Lynch, because they were together in Captain Marvel, now she gets a coveted role. What did she do to earn it? Did she get, nominations for her recent films? Was she in the public eye and, cause a stir, like on the social media, and people just said, man, the studios are like, we got to get her. Or they just said, like I said earlier, checkoff list. She checks off all of the, prerequisites and the requirements and all that. It's got to stop. Somehow it's got to stop. There's got to be people out there, and it seems like the ones that are against this in Hollywood and can't stand this stuff are being pretty quiet. There's a little bit of a stir happening recently with Scarlett Johansson and the comments she made about wanting to, not letting anybody tell her what role she should take, and all that. It's a step in the right direction, but at the same time, she may pay for it. You know, she may be ostracized from Hollywood. She might be blacklisted. You know, because powers that be are all about this movement, Me Too movement. HJWs, feminists. You know, I don't get it. And if you people go to these films and you insist that, oh, let's give them a chance, you know, you're freaking blind to the damage that this is causing. You know, if I had kids, they would grow up, their kids, like my grandkids, would not even know who Bond is, won't know, you know, who a lot of these characters were that got, you know, feminized, they got, you know, screwed with, got changed around. You know, it's like, if these guys had their way, this Me Too movement, all these guys, they would erase everything. Even Terminator has been affected. Dark Fate. I knew it. I knew it. I watched that trailer with such damn garbage. And I said, yeah, you got affected too. You know? In my trailer reaction, I'm like, what is this? Someone tell me, what is this? No one commented on my video. Thanks for nothing. You know, and then I'm seeing all these damn reports, and then you're talking about the whole thing and how it's gonna go, and I'm like, and you brought Linda Hamilton back, you brought Arnold back for what? Be a part of that garbage? I mean, for those of you who checked out my video, thanks for coming by. I appreciate it. I really do. Curse word here and there, but I told you guys that if something I'm passionate about or something that I'm pissed at, something that really gets my hair up, even though I don't got a lot of hair, but I will let those things loose, because I'm not letting nobody tell me what I can say in my videos. You know, people always worry about, oh, I wouldn't want to curse because I don't want to get demonetized. I don't give a fuck about that. I really don't. Even though I don't have many subs, but it's like, even if I did, I still wouldn't care. Because it's like, oh, you're gonna tell me when I can say and what I can't say and what I can, you know. I don't let, you know, the participation trophy generation, the Me Too, and all this other, you know, to affect me. It's gonna take a lot for you guys to affect me. You want to do this, and you wanna fuck with my my childhood and what the films that I grew up with, Star Wars. And now James Bond. You think I'm just gonna stand here and not say shit? No, you're gonna get a lot of this. I'm pissed now. You may even see this in all my videos. It has to stop. Someone out there, those of you who are staying quiet, because maybe I have to look more, but has anybody in Hollywood that don't agree with this spoken up? Have they decided that, hey, how about we go after some female properties out there when it comes to films, huh? Let's go after Tomb Raider. That's not a gender-specific role. Just because you slap Lara Croft in front of it doesn't mean it's a female property. Tomb Raider. That's not a gender-specific. That could be anybody. Anybody could be a Tomb Raider. What do you think the Me Too movement is going to do if that happens? Oh, they're going to raise a hell. You know that. They're gonna be all kinds of, like, their panties are gonna be in a bunch. They're gonna pull their pink hair out of their head. You know what I mean? God forbid, you know, we do it. Oh my God, but they can do it. You know. About Charlie's Angels, make them all men. You know. So it's, you know. How about, I don't know, all these you know, remake Aliens, and then Ripley will be a man. Someone should do that. You fight fire with fire. You're not being violent. You're not being a bully. You're not doing anything but giving them a taste of their own medicine. You know. And not even a spoonful of sugar the medicine. You know, Mary Poppins did that. Helps the medicine go down, right? But no, you give them the straight medicine. You need to taste that bitterness. The bitterness that we're tasting. You know, every time we eat our food, whatever, we got that bitterness in our mouth from having to swallow all this crap. Yeah. Again, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. And in closing, and as always, take care.